After a bit of a rocky season for two of the best quarterbacks in football, Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen are facing off once again in what's looking to be one of the best matchups of the year.
Here goes Allen. He's going to take over. He hurdles and picks up the first down. Whoa.
After a bit of a rocky mid-season, Josh Allen and the Bills are looking like one of the best teams in football. Not only did they just win their last 4 games of the regular season, but they broke the brakes off of New England.
Second down and 6. Allen. Caught. Touchdown. Gabriel Davis.
Keep in mind that the Patriots were initially in control of the division before Buffalo decided to play in their kind of football once again. Anyways, coming off of such a big win against what seemed like a pretty good unit in the Patriots has Buffalo looking fierce going into Kansas City. Against New England, Josh had more touchdowns than incompletions. So if that tells you anything about just how on fire the Bills are, I don't really know what will. Don't get me wrong, Josh had a solid season with over 4,400 yards and 36 touchdowns. But he was just on another level when my man smacked New England like it was nothing. Will he do the same thing in KC? I really don't know. But if he does, it'll be tough to stop no matter who he's going up against. Although Mac Jones had a good season, he's no Patrick Mahomes. And so this game is going to test just how on timing my man Josh is. Over the past few years, there have not been many players who have been on the level of a certain Patty Mahomes. An MVP and a Super Bowl is a pretty good combination for someone who is still relatively new to this whole NFL thing. Just like Josh, Patrick had a solid regular season with over 4,800 yards and 37 touchdowns, but had his own struggles early on. Throughout the start of the year, the team was losing games that they would normally win pretty easily, and so it seemed like they were bound to have an underwhelming season for the first time in a hot sec. Well, 8 straight wins had something to say to that, as Kansas City was back in business and looking as good as ever. Although they lost to Cincinnati in Week 17, the Chiefs had already punched their ticket to the postseason and were looking to prove why they won 8 straight in the first place. In Big Ben's retirement party, Patrick left nothing on the field with over 400 yards and 5 touchdowns as the team took out Pittsburgh by 3 touchdowns. It may not have been much of a surprise, but nonetheless Patrick proved that he was back on timing and is looking to keep that same energy against a hot Bills squad.
Pizza time.
When the two faced off against each other earlier in the year, Josh won that matchup like it was nothing, but something is telling me that this time is going to be a bit different. First and foremost, that game was like 4 months ago, and upon that it was before the Chiefs started to play like themselves again and win a bunch of games. At that point, Kansas City was 2-3, so if that tells you anything, they were not the same unit that is looking to make yet another conference championship game. Nonetheless, it seems like all signs are pointing to this matchup being one of the best of the year in what should be the rematch of the ages. 2 elite quarterbacks and teams facing off in one of the most important games of the season sounds like a recipe for something great, but you really never know. Both teams have had very rocky years in a lot of aspects, and so it makes this a tough matchup to predict. Although both Josh and Patrick are coming off of some of their best performances of the year, each of the teams are much better than what they went up against the previous game, and so they'll likely be much more of a challenge. Nothing against Pittsburgh and New England, but in this case I think both teams have what it takes to win a Super Bowl from top to bottom, and so it's going to be hard fought. If you look back to their matchup last AFC Championship, Mahomes was on demon timing, as Kansas City took out Buffalo pretty easily. Could the same happen this year? Potentially, but considering how well Josh played against New England, it's a bit of a stretch. Although this is a tough matchup for both units, the fact that the Chiefs are playing at home is a bit of an advantage, and as Mahomes would say, I'm glad we were playing at Arrowhead next week. Considering how close this game is likely going to be, the home field advantage could be much bigger than it would be in a run-of-the-mill regular season matchup. Interestingly enough, the line is only favoring Kansas City by 2.5 points, which is less than the 3 points given because of home field advantage. So, if they were not playing at Arrowhead, then they would be the underdogs. Crazy to think about for a team that is coming off of a 3-touchdown win, and upon that one of the best teams in football for the past few seasons. But it makes sense considering just how dominant the Bills were all across against New England. Not only did the offense go ham, but the defense was firing on all cylinders against a Patriot team that almost took the division. Don't get me wrong, the Chiefs defense stepped up quite a bit against Pittsburgh, but that was really their game to lose, while the Bills demolished a team that many thought could have won going into the game. Anyways, it seems like we are in for a potential game of the year in Kansas City, in what could be a massive shootout with stars all across the field. Thankfully the game is on Sunday night, because I think it could be one for the ages. Like I mentioned earlier, this is a very tough game to predict considering just how much talent is on both sides of the ball, and upon that how well each of the units have been playing recently. On one side you have an MVP and Super Bowl winner in Mahomes, who's coming off of a big win at home and looking as good as ever. Now he may have struggled throughout the regular season, but it seems like the Mahomie is back when it counts. While on the other side is a young stud and likely future MVP winner in Josh Allen, who had a near perfect game against a New England team that really was not that bad. They were no Kansas City, but they made the playoffs only one game behind Buffalo. By how the game went, maybe they shouldn't have been there in the first place, but I think it's really more a testament of Josh's ability. If he plays as well as he did against New England and Kansas City, I think they could definitely win that game, but anything short of that in my opinion is a Chiefs W. If I had to throw out a prediction, I think Mahomes and KC are going to take the game in a close fought effort like 35-31 or something like that behind a bunch of Mahomes touchdowns. If Josh plays great, I could easily see them winning, but based off his performance last playoffs, I think this could definitely be a tough game for him. Anyways, who do you guys think is going to take the dub in Arrowhead? Josh or Patty Mahomes? Let me know in the comment section down below. Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen are two of the best young quarterbacks in football, so it's going to be wild to see who comes out on top this time.
Patience. Allen turns the corner and he will toss it back in the end zone.
Thanks for watching the video. If you guys enjoyed, make sure to subscribe, like, and comment down below what stuff you want next. But anyway, see you all soon and peace out.